What's up, Instashred? Welcome to the channel. Today we are going to cover the most tried and true biceps exercise known by every trainer, athletic trainer, and PT out there, and you probably wouldn't guess what it is. So we're going to get into the video. Before we do so, please give us a subscribe here at Instashred, and let's get into this exercise. All right, so I bet you wouldn't have guessed this one. The #1 most tried and true movement in that elicits the most recruitment in the bicep is the concentration curl. That's right, one of the most isolating movements is the best for the bicep. And there was actually a study, I'll never forget, by ACE Studies that showed that this had the most muscle recruitment over all the big bad boys, the barbell curl, the preacher curl. The reason being is because when you kick your elbow forward and you do this movement correctly, there's so much emphasis on the bicep itself. You get a full range of motion, but you're also in this position, as you can see, where you really can't leverage any other part of your body. You're stuck using just your bicep, which is the point, right? If we're trying to work our bicep, we want to work our bicep and not bring our shoulder or anything else into the movement. So the concentration curl is done just like this. And you can see I really can't hinge from any other place but my elbow, which means my bicep right here is doing almost all of the work. And a little bit of a demasculating tip here is you can't use much weight, so it doesn't look the most sexy, but it gets the job done. All right, so how to actually perform this movement, the concentration curl. This is our Instashred Pro tip. So you can do it seated like we just showed, or you can actually do it standing. It's a light enough weight to where you can lean right over, and you want to kick your elbow forward, okay? What this allows is isolation of the bicep. If you're curling here outwards, you can use your shoulder, as you can see. So you want to kick your elbow forward so that way you're curling in towards your body, because this is going to isolate the bicep, and your shoulder is in a position to where it can't help. So the other thing is you want to keep your wrist down. This is our Instashred Pro tip, okay? If you are using your wrist and curling into it, there's so much forearm recruitment, and we don't want that. We're trying to work the bicep once again. Wrist down. Look at that. My forearm disengages, and I'm isolating the bicep here. So by keeping the wrist down, I can hold this nice light weight and really put a nice emphasis on the bicep. Come up, squeeze at the top, about 90-degree angle, maybe a little higher, and come all the way down, let it stretch right here. And that's the concentration curl at its finest. But you didn't really think the concentration curl was gonna get the job done, right? You can't just do one movement and get all the benefits of maximizing our arm growth, right? So the next movement is going to be focusing on another big part of the arm, which is the brachialis, okay? The brachioradialis and the brachialis is a huge emphasis point of our arm. So we can work the peak, the bicep head, but we also want to work the outer part of our arm, which is the brachialis, and then stimulate our forearms a little bit too for that overall good look. All right, so the movement we are talking about here is the hammer curl. So the hammer curl is done with a neutral grip. You can see here, I'm coming up crossbody, allows you to use a little heavier weight than usual. And this movement is great for strength in the bicep. The bicep is gonna be one of the weaker muscle groups in the body, so it's gonna be a lot harder to go up in weight. But the hammer curl is what's gonna give you that strength and that girth. And as you can see, we were just talking about the brachialis and the brachioradialis. You can see my forearms engaging so much during this movement. So part of great arm thickness is also building your forearms, and the hammer curl is a phenomenal way to build that brachialis and that brachioradialis. Yeah.
You're working more. Wait, we can try. Oh, you're full ups. Some over here.
That's funny.
Well, the wider we go, the more pecs we're going to be engaging and use it. The closer in we go, it's going to be like all tricep there.
Yes, that is right, Devin, but we're doing biceps, not triceps. All right, we're going to throw in one more final bicep exercise because you probably wouldn't have guessed what this one was either. Underhand grip pull-up. All right, this does work some back, but primarily as a bicep movement, it's another great one for the girth of your overall biceps peak. So I, as well as maybe yourself, can't do a lot of normal underhand pull-ups, so I'm using the assisted machine here, and that's gonna allow me to get a quality number of reps. So underhand, like I said here, palms are facing, and you're pulling your arms. You really wanna emphasize the mind-muscle connection here and not really come under like a row. You wanna stay upright here and pull into that movement with your arms, really focusing on squeezing your arms at the top. It's a tough movement, but it's a great one. You gotta give these suckers a try alongside the concentration. While we're on the topic of arms, if you're curious what the best tricep exercise is to build better arms, you can check out this video right here. You enjoying these tips so far on how to get better biceps? Please give us a like on this video and we'll get into the next exercise. We're curious, what are your favorite arm movements? Let us know down in the comments as we cover the most tried and true and best exercises for for your arms. Hey, thanks for joining us today for our biceps workout. Take these tips, implement them in your routine, and you'll undoubtedly build bigger and better arms. Have a great day. See you next time.